I didn't know how to begin this, so I just did it like that. I will keep the introduction very short because I'm not that interesting. But so first of all, I am not a really good musician. I am my hearing is not very well, so this is not going to be a transcription of any sort. It is just me being somewhat passionate about something and not being able to share it with anybody. So I will just talk into my computer and put it on the internet, which is the best possible idea I have for this. It won't be very well produced. I don't have any money. Well, I do have some money, but I'm not putting it into this. It won't be very well lit. I'm recording this with my camera from my laptop, so I just want to do it this way and then see wherever this takes me, because whether I enjoy it or not. So what am I going to do? I'm going to talk about a song, a very small portion of a song, and that song is The Summoning by Sleep Token. If you don't know the song, maybe you should listen to it first before you continue on this video, because you probably would have to like this song before you want to actually know how a small part of it works. So Sleep Token is a metal band, I guess you could say. They have some very heavy stuff, but they also have this fusion, jazzy, moody stuff, which is actually pretty much all encased in this song. So it's 6 minutes and a half. And we're going to do, or at least I'm going to do, 20 seconds of this thing. 20 seconds at the very beginning. And I just want to what do I want to do? Okay, so first thing, when I heard this song, I didn't know how to count it, because it's really difficult to count, because it's not like basic 4/4. Okay, a spoiler alert, so I will try to make this as understandable for everybody as possible, but there will be some measures, or there will be talk of measures of a 12/8 feel, and stuff like that, but I will try to explain it as we go. But so without further ado, let's just listen to the first 20 seconds first. Not the first 20 seconds, but we're skipping a part, but we're just gonna go and get this thing going. Okay, so that part. I'm gonna bring this guy back, this guy. And I will try and have him bob his head to the beat of the song. Now, the beauty of this part in the beginning is that you can just keep on doing very stubbornly what you think you should be doing based on the beginning of the song, and you will actually end up in the right place. That is beautiful in its own way, but there is a part in between where you just get lost, and but it all turns out well in the end. So I'm gonna try and emulate that, because I've heard this song way too many times already, and I am spoiled in that way. Okay, so we've gone past the point where I'm actually going to, I'm not done transcribing this, but where I'm going to talk about it. I hope to do a bigger part of the song later, but I only have time for very small bits at the time. Okay, so I will now show you my creation. Okay, so this is the same video, but I have added some things to it, which will make it very confusing. But but in the end, I hope it will be less confusing. I'm just going to show it once and then explain a bit about it, and then we can start analyzing the thing, I guess. Okay, a couple of things. If you are a musician, then we might run into a disagreement at some point, and this is the point. There was a counter there, and like any musician would know, that is the way that I count the beats, as in that's how I divide the beats, and the ping, the bell sound that you hear is how I divide the measures or bars, which I guess is the same thing. A little sketchy for a guy that doesn't speak English as a first language and has not been doing anything musically for quite some time. Okay. So I guess there are a lot of ways to count this thing. And as our little friend here already demonstrated, if you just keep going, you end up in the right place. And but we're not gonna more about that later. So the way that I subdivided those things, this bit, is that I don't start actually when you hear the drums and the guitars, it is not the beginning of bar one. Well, it is, but it's not a full bar. So I guess there is a term for this, but it's like more of an intro to the first bar. And and you can see it in the video when it just does like 1, 2 before you hear any bell sound. So the first bell sound is the beginning of the first bar for me. For me. And this song does this really cool thing where it actually uses a 12/8 feel in the beginning, and it switches over to basic 4/4, and what that means is that for the first 2 bars, you will have the big epic gong 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 thing going, and then the third bar, it will feel very rushed compared to the first, because then the big spacious thing that you get from 12/8 actually goes to becomes 4/4. And what that would actually, if I would emulate that, it would be like down 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 down. So you can switch that in between. Down 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 down. And then maybe as a short interlude, because I will be talking about 12/8 feel a lot, because I really like 12/8 feel. But if you are my generation or a little younger or maybe older, you just have to know these movies. So Pirates of the Caribbean, the Johnny Depp movies. I haven't seen all of them, but the soundtrack is basically, a lot of it is in 12/8, because you have that very thing going, and that's 12/8. So it's a subdivision of like 3 notes, and then after every group of 3 notes, you would actually have like a bigger beat. Now in this song, what actually portrays it being 12/8 feel is that you have these big counts, like where the bass drum goes, da da dak, and well, the dak would be the snare, but it's dakata 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 dakata. So that's what you get in the beginning of it, and that's what makes it feel like really spacious and cool, if I might say so. And then after those 2 bars, it goes like da 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 da, and it's actually a drum fill, and the guitars are following, I guess. Let's just check it out. I actually don't know if I explained this already. I will do it again. And if I have explained it already, I will edit it out. So you have the green flashing light, which is the bass drum accent from the drums and pretty much all the guitars. Well, not all the guitars, but like the low, heavy guitars. And the red will be the snare drum, or a really obvious accentuated part a little further down the line, because it's important. And then I already explained it, like the numbers are the measures, and that's where musicians disagree. So the way that I count at the beginning is indeed like the 2 bars of 12/8, and then 12/8 feel, I should say, and then 1 bar of 4/4. After which you will get 1 bar of 12/8 feel and 4 beats, and then you get 1 measure of 12/8 feel, but you only get, instead of 12 notes or counts, you will get 10. Followed by, and now I have to think, I guess 4/4, 6/4, and then 3/4. And actually on the 3/4 is when the guy, his name is Vessel. Yeah, so Sleep Token don't really have, they have names, but it's not their real name. So the singer, which is called Vessel, will start singing on those last 3 bars. And that's the end of the intro. And that's as far as I'll go today, because that's all the time we've got, folks. Okay, so once more. Okay, so if you follow this the way that it's actually written, you will be very dizzy if you try to actually like follow it around and bob your head to it. And that's why, it's not why, but it's really convenient and very nice of Sleep Token as a band. That what the crazy part is, the crazy thing that they did is discounting the very beginning, which I don't really count as a bar. So from the moment where you hear that ping, the first bell, to the moment where you hear the last bell, there are, I think, I would have to check, but I think 32 beats. And 32 is dividable, or you can divide it by 4. Or is it? I'm having a moment of doubt here, because it could be, oh, no, it's 36. So 36. 36 beats divided by 4 are 9 measures. So this entire intro, if you discount the beginning, which I've repeated over and over again, is actually, you can count it as 9 bars of 4. And that's why our little friend here can just keep on going and end up at the right place. So I will do it again with him. And then we'll see. Allez. Wow. So that's why it's cool, kids.